If you learned early that asking for help only slowed things down, and now you handle everything yourself without announcing it, this video is about you. If you rarely talk about your feelings, not because you don't have them, but because you already processed them internally, stay right here. That's not emotional coldness. That's psychological self-containment. According to neuroscience, your brain adopted to rely on internal regulation instead of external reassurance, meaning you don't outsource stability the way most people do. What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see independence, emotional distance, and why you've always felt slightly out of sync with modern culture. If you're someone who doesn't panic alone, doesn't overshare, and doesn't wait to be rescued, welcome. You're about to feel very seen. Wild, right? Let's name the behavior first. You don't lean on people emotionally. You don't broadcast stress. And when things go wrong, you go quiet and handle it. Society calls this closed off, or worse, emotionally unavailable. But scientists call this self-directed regulation. Translation: your nervous system learned to stabilize itself internally instead of reaching outward. Think of it like this. Most people regulate emotions like a group chat. You regulate like local storage. No notifications, no validation pings, just internal processing. Research shows roughly 27% of Gen X developed this pattern during childhood and early adulthood, especially those raised during periods of social transition, economic instability, or inconsistent emotional availability. And evolutionarily, this trait kept humans alive. Groups survived because someone could stay calm, think clearly, and act without needing emotional consensus. But here's where it gets interesting. What happens when the world shifts and suddenly rewards constant emotional display? When most people feel stressed, they seek relief through expression, talking it out, venting, sharing. When you feel stressed, you seek resolution. Same emotion, different processing. It's like this. Most people experience emotions in 480p, fast, blurry, immediate. You experience them in 8K, slower, sharper, but far more controlled. This isn't suppression, it's filtration. A long-running study from a major U.S. research institution found that people with high self-regulatory independence show lower emotional volatility and faster recovery after stress. Here's what nobody talks about. This means you don't confuse emotion with identity. Feelings pass through you. They don't become you. If this is you, you already know. It's not that you feel less. You feel without drowning. Let's be honest, that changes everything. Now, let's talk chemistry. Most people's emotional bonding runs heavily on oxytocin, the connection chemical. Your brain leans more on dopamine and acetylcholine, the focus and clarity chemicals. Translation: connection soothes others. Competence soothes you. Crowded emotional environments? Draining. Solving problems alone? Energizing. This is why you think best in silence, recharge alone without loneliness, feel calmer after handling things yourself. Neuroscientists have found that people with this wiring show stronger prefrontal cortex regulation, the part of the brain that stays online under pressure. This isn't a deficit, it's a different operating system. You're not doing nothing when you go quiet. Your brain is doing everything. Think about that. Here's the reframe most people never hear. What looks like emotional distance actually gives you exceptional psychological resilience. While others need reassurance to move forward, you move forward to regain reassurance internally. That means you don't freeze in crises. You think clearly when others panic. You don't collapse under prolonged responsibility.
Studies consistently show that people with this trait score higher in long-term stress tolerance, strategic problem solving, emotional self-trust. Most people need emotional handrails. You built internal architecture. Yes, there's a trade-off. It can make you hard to read, harder to reach, but it also means you can carry weight most people would break under. And honestly, that's not emotional absence. That's strength under compression.
Society is obsessed with expression right now. Oversharing, processing out loud, constant visibility. But you figured something out early. You understand that stability doesn't come from being seen, it comes from being solid. You're not emotionally stunted. You're emotionally self-contained. You're not distant. You're selective. You're not disconnected. You're internally anchored. You don't need to perform vulnerability to prove depth. You live it privately. So stop apologizing for not needing an audience. You're not missing out. You opted out of emotional chaos. And that's not regression. That's evolution. Here's the truth, distilled. You're not closed off. You're internally regulated in a world addicted to external validation. So tell me, are you team handle it yourself or team talk it out? Drop it in the comments. Both are valid, but now you know which one is you. If this resonated, hit subscribe for psychology that explains you without trying to fix you. Next video, why Gen X trusts competence more than charisma, and why that instinct is scientifically right. Stay sharp.